Hello everyone, welcome back to the Life and Times of Mulch. That's me. And if you're a motorbike fan, you've come to the right place because we have the next 5 stages of build Valentino Rossi's YZR M1, as ridden by the Italian legend himself, Valentino Rossi. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Let's build some motorbikes. One motorbike. Come on, let's go! Well, welcome back everybody. It's nice to have you all here again with the Valentino Rossi M1 YZR build 1/4 scale. We've got issues 7 through to 11, so let's crack on with book number 7. Let's have a look and see what we've got in here. Rossi's records. He was always known for doing different celebrations at the end of races. He's cleaning the racetrack there. And in issue 7 we're doing the right fork leg and brake. Details on what to do there. Jumped a page. And the last page, 2016 season, race by race, is the Catalan GP. So here's everything. Here's everything in bag number 7. So here's all the pieces. Bag number 7. We've got another fork leg, and we've got our brake caliper and brackets. We also need, from a previous issue, the other fork leg, the caliper, and a B screw. So take the caliper from the previous issue, and it's got a D shape on the end of the fork, and there's a D shape pattern in there, so it'll only go in one way. Just line that up, and then you're lining up that hole just here, and we're going to put that B screw in that hole. Okay, so that looks like that. Next we need this fender bracket that was in issue 5, and we also need the Allen key. You'll also need a type T screw. You'll also need a type C screw for this as well. Now there's a lug just there that needs to go in the hole there. Line that up, and once that's lined up it should look like that, and then we want to put the screw into that hole just there. So let's get that in and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so when that's in there, that will look like that. Right, I'm a little bit confused because everything that I got in pack 7, I didn't use any of it. I used all stuff that was in the previous packs. But that's what it actually tells you to do in pack 7. So that's everything in that stage. Let's move on to the next one, see if we can get even more confused. Here is the book for stage 8, but what we'll be doing, I don't know. 2005, a year of triumphs. Ah, Valet, come back, Valet, all is forgiven. Right, these are the pieces, and it says we're doing the right brake caliper mounting. And the bits that we need to do there. And then the season is the Dutch TT. Look like a very wet Dutch TT. Let's get the parts out and let's see if we're actually going to use any of them. Let's get it open. See what we've got. I must say I do like all these sealed bags. Really handy to reuse for small parts and screws so you don't lose anything. That's always good. So we've got some more B and C screws, and we've got all the bits here for your brake caliper. Let's see if we're actually going to do anything with it. We are! So I don't know when we're using the stuff that we got in pack 7, but let's not worry about it. Let's just do what it tells us to do and make this caliper. So the first thing we do, nice and simple, there's a couple of holes there that match up with these lugs on this one, and it's just going to be pushed in to this part, and that's going to look like that. Okay, so that's what you need to do first. Then we're going to take this part and this, and again just another push in. That's quite loose there, so I'm going to put a little dab of glue on that just to hold that in. So I'm going to go and get the glue now. Just in case you wanted to know, the glue that I use is a Gorilla Glue, and it's quite a thick Gorilla Glue. You don't need much of it at all. That's how that needs to look. Next, like we had on the other caliper, we've got these two little nuts. One's got a sort of a brassy goldy top, and one's got a silver top. I'm going to put them into these slots, just here and here, and they're going to slot in just like that. Then the two pieces that we've created, we're just going to put together. So the holes, hold it around that way, the holes there, there, there and there are all going to match up with the locating holes on here. We'll match them up, and again that's just a push in, so push that all together. Okay, that's going to look like that. Okay, we don't do anything with the B and C screws, but keep them safe, and we also didn't use this great big part here, so keep that safe as well. Book 9, stage 9. Let's see what we got. Rossi and Gibbonow. There were two riders that did not like each other. And we've got the front wheel in this one. Although we received the front wheel, we're going to be doing stuff with the parts that we received in stage 7. So that makes all the sense in the world, but that's what we're going to be doing. And raced by a race 2016 season, the German Grand Prix. Seeing as we actually got the wheel in this stage, I think it's only fair that we should look at it. It's very nice, very, very heavy. This is all metal, and the paint is really, really nice paintwork there. So that is the wheel, but we won't be doing anything with that. We'll be working with the pieces that we got in stage 7. Then basically with the pieces that we got in stage 7, the first thing we're going to do, like we did it on the first stage, we're going to put these two pieces together. Push that in, and then we're going to put a screw in there, and I believe that's one of the B screws. So I'll get that screwed in. Okay, so as we did before, that gets screwed in like that. And as like we did before as well, we're going to bring over the bracket That's going to go over the same holes, just on the opposite side, and then we're going to put in a type C screw in that hole there. So let's get that in. Remember, the type C screw is the one with the Allen key. So nice and simple, and that should look like that. So stage 10, coming home 46. Yeah, the Marc Marquez and Valentino Rossi had sort of a love-hate competition going on with them. In this one, it says we've got the front, the fork, yoke, and fixings. These books are amazing. So these are the bits that we got apparently, but we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be working on the wheel and attaching the forks to the wheel. But before we do, let's have a look at the parts. So let's get this open. I hope you're as baffled as I am with this build, because it's all over the place. So we've got some E-screws. I'm not going to take any of these parts out because I don't think we're going to be using them. And this part, we've got a hex spanner, and we've also got some D-type screws. So I'll keep them all to one side, and let's see what we've got to do. Obviously, doing the wheel, we need to bring over the tyre that we got in a previous pack, so bring that over, and the wheel that we got in the previous stage, and basically we're going to put the wheel into the tyre. Alright, I'm having trouble getting the tyre on, so I'm going to try and soak it if I can fit it into this pan. Oh god, this pan is it's not big enough. The pan's not big enough. Okay, trick is to soak the wheel, soften it up, and then you'll be able to get it on the rim a hell of a lot easier. It goes on literally in seconds. So soak the tyre only for about 20 seconds in really hot water, and then when that dries and cools down, that will be superb. Right, so once you've got the wheel on, you will need more items that have come in earlier packs. Now, when putting these on, you need to make sure that the arrow, so there's an arrow there going round, you need to make sure that the disc corresponds with the right arrow. So if you see on here, the arrow is going that way on the tyre and it's going that way on the disc. But if you get the right one, it's got the arrow going the same way as the tyre. And that disc just pushes in to there. Just making sure that the arrows match up, going the same direction as the wheel. Right, there's been a bit of a hold up because I just want to bring this to your attention if you are building this. In this book, so in stage 10, when we're putting the wheel together and putting the disc on, when it tells you to put the front forks on, it's already got this section on in the diagram. But in the previous books, it doesn't show you how to put that on. But basically, there's two halves that push together, and then this section here pushes in to here and here. So it's all just a push in. Just be aware that it's not clear in the book, but when you do look on that stage, you can see that it is clearly on the picture. And yet when you look in the previous stage, and it says final result, they're not on there. Okay, so they're not on there, but they are on the next one. So just giving you a heads up there. So obviously there's a groove. You can see there, that needs to go over your brake disc. So very gently maneuver it over the disc. Okay, that should look like that. Now the spindle that we got in a previous package, that's going to go right through this hole with a bit of luck, all the way through. So it comes out the other side. I'll give you a heads up because I want to be totally transparent with everything that I've done. I had to glue my section here because they're very tiny thin pegs, and when you push them in you have to be really careful that you don't bend and break them, which I did unfortunately. So I've put a little bit of super glue to hold that section on that was just a push on. So just be really careful when you do yours. Don't do what I did and end up breaking it. But I've glued it and thankfully it looks okay. I'm just going to let that dry for a little bit and then I'll get that other side on. While that is drying, when you push that on to the other side of the wheel, so when you've got this side on, this is going to go over the other side of your nut. So you've got like a brass nut there, and they do supply this spanner. It's got different sizes and it will tighten your nut. It's got different size things for your 4-way spanner. But we'll get that on in a minute. We'll just give that time to dry. Also, before you put that on, remembering to put your other disc on. Now this one, because you've already done that one, the arrows should match up. So the arrow this time is going that way and the arrow on the disc is going the same way. Okay, I think the glue is hopefully dried now. So we've got both sides on and we've got that big long bolt through. The other side, like I say, we've got this brass screw here and we're going to screw all this together. I'm just going to do that loose to begin with until I've got everything where I'm happy for it to be. Now the last thing we need to do in this stage is to get this piece here, and as you can see on the forks there are 2 holes and there are these 2 bits protruding out. It needs to go on this way round, so you've got the 2 holes, go over your forks, and then those bits sticking out on the forks there. I don't know if you can see this. It's really hard to do this and to show you at the same time. There you go. They slide over. I'll do it at an angle you might better see. And then the holes line up here and here. And we're going to fix them with 2 E-screws. So I'm going to fix them first and then I'll tighten up the wheel. So okay, so that's going to be screwed in those 2 holes there and there. I hope that makes sense. That's everything in that stage. Pretty mammoth. You can see the size of it. It's pretty huge. Just go steady, and like I say, go really careful with these bits because like I say, I broke one. I've glued it and it seems to be holding. So just go steady with that. So finally, let's go on to stage 11, the last in this pack. Appointment with Destiny. During free practice in 2010, the Italian at Mugello, Valentino had a bad fall and suffered a serious injury. Yeah, he broke his leg. He'd never had a serious injury in all his career, and then he had a big leg break. I think that was a real turning point in his career. So in this pack we've got some exhaust pieces and we're going to put some more onto the front wheel. And race by race season, there's the Czech Republic race there. And here it is. Wow, these are all metal, these pipes. Really nice. So we're going to need some type D screws that we've got here. And we're also going to need a front mud guard that we're going to fix in this stage. As you can see, there's holes on either side of the front fender. And there is holes here and here, obviously on both sides. It's quite simply going to go over that like that, and then we're going to put 2 of them E-screws in either side, in that side and the opposite side. So I'll get those screwed in and show you what that looks like. D screws, sorry, not E screws, D screws. And that's on, screwed on either side. Now be careful, they are flathead screws, so it's easy to slip. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put these mammoth bits of pipe together. So the longer one on this side. So you've got your 2 big pipes, you've got 2 lugs there and a hole matching up on that side, and they're just quite simply going to push together. So they look like that. And then we'll turn it over and we'll put a type B screw in there. It's probably the easiest thing of the whole thing that we've done today. It's been quite stressful. Hope you've managed to do everything better than me. And that is it. So you just one of the B screws. That's a hell of a bit of weight there, and it's just 2 bits of pipe. We did get our next, or our first, should I say, of our free gifts, and it's this little brightly yellow for Rossi 46 notepad, and that came free with this shipment. There you go. Well, I've had easier mornings. Oh, that was a little bit stressful. First thing I want to point out, and I don't know if it came across in the video, basically it seems to be that you get your book, like for example you get stage 7 and you open said book and it says, oh look, you've got these parts, this is what you need to do, and then it tells you to get all the parts from stages that you've already done and do them, and it seemed to do that in every book. Like with the book, when you got the wheel, it said, oh, in this stage you get the wheel, which we did, and then you turn the page and then you were doing other stuff. So it was a little bit confusing, but I hope you kept up in the video. Anyway, with all that being said, we've actually constructed something that looks like it should be on a bike. We put both the left and right forks on, we've put the disc brakes on, we've put the calipers on, we've put the front mudguard on, and we put the tyre on the wheel. So we've done loads. It wasn't really that hard to do build wise, it was just hard to follow what you needed to do. But I think you'll agree, it really does look nice, and there's a hell of a lot of weight here, and just be careful. Like I say, some bits in the magazines weren't very clear as regard these bits of the brake calipers. They didn't even tell you about putting them on. In one picture they were on, and in the next picture, in one picture they weren't on, and in the next book suddenly, ping, they were on. So just be aware and really look at the instructions carefully. But I think you'll agree, it looks really cool. The only other thing we did is we put these 2 pieces of pipe together, and these are all metal. Some weight there. I mean, this bike is going to be a weighty thing when it's built. And like I said in the video, we got our first free gift, which was this VR46 notebook, so you can write down all the little bits or any things that you need to remember in there. But I'm a little bit stressed. I need my Yorkshire tea, and I probably need several biscuits as well, but I'm pleased with how it's turned out, and that's where we are at the end of pack 11. And like I say, it's looking good, it's looking shiny, and it's looking like a motorcycle. Well, it's looking like the front wheel of a motorcycle. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I'd like to say I enjoyed it, but I'm pretty stressed, but I am enjoying it. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for liking and subscribing. I'll see you next time on Life and Times of Mulch with more with Mr. Rossi's 2016 Yamaha. Eventually, there'll be more of it. I'll see you there. I need to lay down.